Topping our lineup on this Monday here on the Now, rent payment information can help boost your credit score, but it's not the standard. What you can be doing on your own to get this information included. Gum is the newest way companies are promising to get you that caffeine kick. Do their claims really hold up? Is it safe? We're going to get answers on that. And we all know that we should be putting more money into savings, and banks are now trying to make it easier to put that money away, the tactic that could convince us to do it.
Thank you, Chris. I'm Amanda Starantino, and you're watching the Now Indy. In November, about 15,000 teachers rallied at the Indiana Statehouse for higher pay and more attention from state lawmakers. Today, they were back, but in smaller numbers. It's 3 months later, and some of the same teachers again went to the Statehouse for an update on how the legislature has followed up on their demands. The Indiana Coalition for Public Education gave lawmakers credit for passing a few education bills this session, but said there's still more work to be done. Governor Eric Holcomb has already signed the Hold Harmless bill to not hold teachers accountable for iLearn scores. Removing the 15-hour externship requirement is halfway to becoming law, but all efforts to raise teacher pay this year failed.
And when I'm in meetings, I hear often Jennifer or Dr. McCormick, depending on, and other names, depending on what meetings I'm in, this is not about funding. And I say, try to run a school without money. Try to serve students without money. Try to pay educators without money.
With less than a month until the session ends, teachers will try to make one last push to get their voices heard to state lawmakers. A vaping ban is under consideration at Indiana State University in Terre Haute. The school's trustees will consider a proposal to add e-cigarettes to the school's ban on tobacco-related products. The draft policy to be presented this week would allow vaping and use of other tobacco products inside a private vehicle, but it also calls for the gradual phase-out of the current designated outdoor smoking areas on campus. A final policy recommendation will come in May. If approved, it would take effect July 1st. Kevin?
We look at the cloud cover down in Bloomington. I don't know the students' calendar, but I bet you it's not that long until maybe a month or so until spring break. The students would know for sure. They keep track of those things. The rain showers north of Bloomington, your temperature rising from Bloomington, Bedford, and Seymour into the 50s. That warmth will lift to the north as well. This is light rain shower activity anywhere from the metro area as you go northwest along Interstate 74 or I-65. Rainfall picks up in intensity a bit. Lafayette's had just under 0.2 of an inch of rain. I think the more organized areas of rain will stay northwest of that Terre Haute to Indy line, at least for the next little bit. Temperature 36 in Peru, 54 in Bedford. Through the evening hours, periods of rain will continue. The temperature steady or slowly rising. They'll peak during the overnight hours. Rain ends early Tuesday.
Hundreds of Americans are back in the United States after being quarantined on a cruise ship in Japan over coronavirus concerns. 14 of those people tested positive for the virus and are being treated. The passengers landed at Travis Air Force Base in California and Lackland Air Force Base in Texas. They are going to be monitored and quarantined for 2 weeks. All right, let's start the Now Newsfeed. The Taliban says it will sign a peace deal with the U.S. by the end of the month. The U.S. had demanded the Taliban promise to cut down on violence. It is unclear the exact day that deal could be signed. More than 1,000 former DOJ officials want the Attorney General to resign. They all signed a letter. They're upset after the department lowered the prison sentence recommendation for longtime President Trump ally Roger Stone. Take a look at this video here. Flooding in Mississippi. The Pearl River is continuing to rise around Jackson. More rain's on the way. The flooding expected to continue for days. Now, two big trends that we're seeing in healthcare are tackling two common problems: convenience and cost.
No one wants to be in a hospital. No one wants to be in a rehab center. And again, if we'll be able to provide better healthcare in the comfort of people's home, we'll be able to drive costs down.
That's the CEO of XR Health. It's a new virtual reality telemedicine company. They use VR to bring doctors into your home. Patients, they need a VR headset. And the CEO says that VR trains the brain to cope better with certain conditions.
After 20 seconds of use, you can see range of motion, response time, smoothness of the motion, peak velocity, differences between right side, left side, all the cognitive skills that today is very hard to measure.
Now, he uses VR to treat his chronic whiplash from when he was a fighter pilot. VR therapeutic care can be used for chronic pain, stroke, rehab, hot flashes, and memory decline. Right now, XR Health is available in 9 states and D.C. It's expected to be nationwide by the end of the year. Also in the convenience category, pharmacy chains are leading the charge with clinics inside stores. Larger walk-in clinics, though, like this one inside the Mall of America, are opening in retail spaces. It has 5 exam rooms, lab space, a radiology room, and pharmacy services. All right, ahead in our lineup here on the Now, accounting for rent payments could help boost our credit scores. But most landlords aren't reporting the information. The push to change this for certain renters and what you can be doing on your own to get this information included.
Just $259 a month at your local Volkswagen dealer.
The World Health Organization is looking to address the shortage of insulin around the globe. Last year, it launched a program where it's working with companies that make insulin to help boost the amount of the hormone being manufactured. The hope is, with an increase in supply, the cost will go down. In the first few months following the launch of the program, the WHO says it has had more than a half-dozen companies show interest in working on the cause. Well, there's a new call to get rent payment information in credit reports. The Department of Housing and Urban Development looked into how this would impact people in public housing, and it found a 65% increase in the amount of people with a credit score of at least 620. HUD is looking into pilot programs to include a rent payment credit. Now, for other renters, more needs to be done for this to become more widespread. Right now, the only credit system that includes this information is FICO 9. And even then, experts at creditcards.com say not many companies or landlords use it.
It's hard for the credit bureaus to get this information. It's not nearly as organized as something like a credit card or an auto loan, where a big bank has the infrastructure to manage and report all this every month.
There are other options to get this type of information reported. Now, what they do is they get you and your landlord to report that rent has been paid. There are 2 free options for this, Isusu and Zingo. Now, these will report payments to Equifax. Most other options like Rent Reporters, Rental Karma, and Level Credit will charge a fee.
These fees could really add up in a hurry. But even for any renter, I mean, to pay, let's say $10 a month, that's $120 a year for an unclear benefit that your lender may not even be looking at a score that can incorporate this.
Creditcards.com says in order for payments to be reported to all credit agencies, there needs to be a mandate that makes it necessary for landlords to report it without big fees. All right, next in our lineup here on the Now, gum is the newest way companies are promising you that caffeine kick. Do their claims really hold up? Is it safe? We're going to get those answers ahead.
Aboard, RTV6 is working for you.
Let's start the Now newsfeed. Major changes to the Tokyo Marathon because of fears of the coronavirus. The public will no longer be allowed to attend on March 1st. The amount of runners being cut down to just a few hundred. The Trump administration could put trade restrictions on Chinese phone maker Huawei. Wall Street Journal saying the U.S. could limit Huawei's use of American equipment in making chips. Now, the government has been concerned Huawei's phones could be used for spying. Virginia lawmakers turning away a bill today to ban the sale of assault-style weapons and high-capacity magazines. The Democratic governor had backed this bill, but it failed in committee. A school safety reporting system is making its way across the country as a way for students to voice concerns about a potential threat. Elizabeth Ruiz showing us how it's working.
I can honestly say we've saved lives.
Dr. Lorraine Termini is the Dean of Student Life at Greenwich High School in Connecticut. 6 years ago, she says the high school was one of the first in the area to start using a safety reporting system called Anonymous Alerts. It's a mobile app that empowers students, parents, and community members to anonymously submit alerts about suspicious activity. The school learned about it at a school safety conference and decided to launch the system after the district's phone tip line never took off. Dr. Termini says they realize students are much more likely to send an anonymous text.
This is how kids communicate. Everything's online. Everything, that's their world.
She's confident it's been effective.
A few years ago, one of the anonymous alerts came in, and they gave me the option of responding back, which I did. The anonymous alert stated something like, "My friend wants to kill himself." And I kept going back and forth. I was able to communicate, and after about 3 or 4 times, this person said, "It's me. I'm writing about myself," and gave me the name, and we sent the police, and the student was hospitalized.
Depression and suicide concerns are some of the most common types of reports, but the system can be used for all types of problems.
Bullying, drugs, weapons on campus, safety issues, and last year we thwarted 3 school shootings with kids coming forward.
Founder and CEO Gregory Bender says school shootings are what spurred the idea for the app.
I saw after Columbine, after the shootings down at Virginia Tech, that people knew about things ahead of time before a tragedy could occur.
The goal is to be proactive before a tragedy happens. Another school shooting, Sandy Hook, happened not too far from Norwalk Public Schools.
The district takes security extremely seriously.
Joe Rios and Dr. Frank Costanzo lead the security team at the district. Now the director of school preparedness, Rios was actually a first responder at Sandy Hook.
Our main priority is to provide a high-quality education for all our students across the district,
which he says can only happen if students feel safe. They say the key element of the app is that students can remain anonymous and stand up for each other.
There are students who are able to self-advocate for themselves, and then there are others who are not quite there yet.
In today's society, when so many kids are struggling with mental health, Dr. Termini says it's important they can meet the kids where they are.
We need a platform for kids to feel comfortable reporting so we can get them the help they need.
I'm Elizabeth Ruiz reporting.
Warehouse stores like Sam's Club, Costco used to be the go-to place for shoppers who wanted the best deals. But with Amazon now dominating the retail world, are they still relevant? Consumer reporter John Matarese shows us some things that are still cheaper at warehouse stores so you don't waste your money.
With online shopping and discount pricing everywhere right now, paying $45 or more to join a membership club feels so 1988. Why pay a fee then have to carry large boxes to your car? Why? Because you can still save a bundle of money. Do you think the warehouse store's best days are behind it? Then check out a Sam's Club or Costco parking lot on a Saturday where every weekend feels like Black Friday.
Paper products, anything, toilet paper, paper towels.
Tide, strawberries, the bananas, anything that can make you a good salad with.
We found one local Sam's Club to be bustling inside on a recent weekday.
I come here about once a month and stock up.
There, Mom Lindsay Erickson was filling her cart with large boxes of Pampers.
I have 2 little kids, so they go through a ton of diapers, ton of wipes.
Some people say, I don't really like to buy in bulk because maybe they have a small refrigerator or freezer. But when it comes to things like paper products or baby diapers or wipes, you really can't go wrong buying these bulk packages. So with the help of recent comparisons from Go Banking Rates and the Penny Hoarder, we found 9 things that are almost always cheaper at Sam's and Costco. Diapers and baby wipes, about 20% less than supermarket prices. Rotisserie chicken at $4.99, half the price of most grocery stores. Maple syrup, vanilla extract, peanut butter and Nutella, cheese, pet food and kitty litter, tires, including name brands like Michelin and Goodyear, and eyeglasses. Which looks better, this? Or how about this? But what about Amazon, which offers the convenience of diapers delivered right to your door with free shipping? Well, you pay for that convenience, according to recent comparisons by Joni Deemer, the crazy coupon lady.
And we found, much to our surprise, that Costco is still 12% less in average price of those items when we compare it to Amazon Subscribe and Save.
Luvana Russia told us her Sam's membership is well worth the price.
I like everything.
Really?
Everything.
So you're thinking of taking the plunge. So which club should you join? Costco membership starts at $60 a year. Sam's starts at $45, sometimes even less. But Business Insider says Sam's and Costco prices are so similar, it recommends joining the one that's closest to you. That's so important. Choose a warehouse store based on location, not membership price. If you have to drive 45 minutes, you will rarely go, and that way you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
Not since my hosting days of At the Zoo have I taken you into a bald eagle nest. This is Big Bear Lake in Southern California, and so the Big Bear Lake Society, they have some camera there where these nesting pair of bald eagles have been sitting on the eggs for a while. Oh, you've been watching? So yes. Jackie and Shadow. I don't know who's on duty right now, but anytime, they were thinking the first eaglet or chick would be born around Valentine's Day, so it could be any time. The amazing thing is just how huge those nests are. I remember with DNR, here in Indiana, going down to Patoka Lake, and they'd actually climb up into the nest, and you'd see turtle shells and bass bones and tin cans. It was pretty amazing. Then they would tag those, and of course they've made a great recovery in Indiana. Periods of rain tonight. Oh yeah. Let me do my job. Periods of rain tonight, drying out during the day tomorrow. Our temperatures will be coolest in the middle of the week. There are the showers, most numerous northern half of the state for now. They'll drop to the south, though, while we sleep tonight, first thing in the morning. Temperature at 37 in Marion, 53 in Bloomington. Temperature in Lafayette in the 30s as well. During the day tomorrow, temperatures will fall. To this evening, they're going to rise with the rain chances also going up. 1 o'clock in the morning, widespread light rain. By 7, it's in the southeastern portion of the state. Then it will disappear. We'll hold on to cloud cover tomorrow. Temperatures with the northwest wind will struggle to go anywhere. They'll basically be steady through the day, right around 40 degrees. We'll talk about some colder temperatures, but there's a trend in the 4-day forecast. I think you'll like to see that coming up.
From coffee to energy drinks, there are plenty of caffeinated beverages claiming to keep you going throughout the day. Now gum companies are putting out products to give you that jolt. Andy Taylor looking into whether they work and whether they're safe.
Chewing gum sales as a whole have been on a slow decline recently. However, if you separate the category of functional gum, they're on a steep increase.
From gum to help you quit smoking or to lose weight, to now gum with CBD. Functional gum can be found at nearly every grocery store.
Chewing gum makes the perfect delivery system for any active ingredient that's included.
Boyd Wilkinson with Apollo Gum says the latest product gaining mainstream popularity is energy gum.
An energy gum is a combination of active ingredients like natural caffeine and B vitamins that we put inside of a regular non-sugar xylitol sweetened shell.
Let's face it, Americans love their caffeine. 90% consume it in some way every day.
Apollo Energy Gum has about 80 milligrams of caffeine. The equivalent for comparison is something like a small cup of coffee.
Which is a similar amount to other energy gums on the market right now.
If your caffeine ranges between 100 to 400 milligrams a day, that's pretty safe.
Rose medical dietitian Jessica Crandall-Snyder says, while caffeine in moderation is not bad for you, it can cause problems in some cases.
You may have symptoms of tachycardia or increased heart rate and dehydration. It also may impact you digestively.
While the caffeine is a functional additive, Boyd says no matter the type of gum, it offers other benefits. Evidence shows it helps reduce stress, heightens focus, and enhances memory recall.
Maybe I can get the combination of the cognitive benefits that are absent from all the ways I've taken caffeine in the past and actually get a boost beyond just the caffeine.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
Andy, thank you. Let's start the Now newsfeed. A new study says that sugar and sleep are related. The American Heart Association says people who are not getting quality sleep had a higher intake of sugar and unhealthy fats. Well, good news if you love wine, because the price of wine expected to drop to its lowest level in 5 years. This is because of a surplus of California grapes mixed in with less demand, and that's driving the price down. Well, there could be a shakeup in minor league baseball. Major League Baseball is expected to increase the salaries of players in the minors next year. Now, the problem is they may have to cut a quarter of the minor league teams to afford that pay bump. Well, the bottled water industry is the target of a new proposal in Washington state. The plan would stop companies from using water sources that are fed by springs. Advocates say the companies are depleting resources and they're not having to pay for it. There are proposals in Michigan, Maine, Oregon, and Montana aimed at cracking down on the bottled water industry. Now, finally in our lineup today here on The Now, we all know that we should be putting more money into savings. But just having a goal to save may not be enough to get us to do it. Banks now trying to make it easier to put that money away, the tactic that really could convince us to do it.